So I feel the need to do a little bit of a vlog after what I just experienced, just to kind of reflect on it. So the Islamic Center of Greater Cincinnati, which was featured in a previous video on the vlog, hosts these Know Your Neighbor open houses. And they teach you a little bit about the Islamic faith. You get to tour the mosque. You get to ask any questions. It's a judgment-free zone. And it's really informative and amazing. And today was one of the Know Your Neighbor events. And word spread, starting yesterday, that a small group of extremists, bigots and haters were going to protest. And so some of the groups in the area just asked, hey, look, can you be there to show support? And, don't engage the protesters, but be there to show our friends and neighbors that this is not normal. This is not how the majority of us feel, be there to love them. So it was great. There was a small group of us there who were there, to support and to love and to be positive. And all of a sudden, this giant group comes down the street, and it was a little nerve-wracking. I will admit, it was very scary to see a group of about 20 coming at a group of 5. So turns out the majority of them were actually a counter-protest, but it was an anarchist group. So they are very belligerent, get in your face, scream, drown out the hateful rhetoric that the other people are saying. So it was a little nerve-wracking and very tense at times. Muslim leaders that were out there to kind of supervise and make sure that their people didn't engage with the haters. They actually didn't even talk to the anarchist group at all, because the anarchist group was trying to start trouble, and they are very anti-trouble. They didn't want a fight. They didn't want clashes. So they chatted with us quite a bit. We were just there to be positive and support. And anytime the haters tried to engage us, we just turned our backs. We didn't listen. We never said a word to them. We held our own little chat, side conversations. So it was a very positive experience among the 5 of us. There were only about 5 protesters, but they were very vocal and angry and just filled with hateful. I don't understand how you get to that level of hate. It was terrifying. So, and very sad, very pathetic. But the anarchist group, there were 15 of them, and they were whoo! And then there was a bunch of cops. I think there were about 5 cops as well. So, at the end, we shook hands with all of the Muslim community leaders, with the cops that had been there, to thank them, thank you for doing your job and for protecting everybody. And then a couple of the anarchist group actually came up to shake our hands and thank us, even though we had completely different methods. So it was interesting. It was very scary at times. I really thought some things were going to break out, and there was a guy who kept intentionally getting right in our personal space and getting in our face and screaming about Sharia law at us. Lay-sigh. He also was screaming about, oh my God, just something you need to educate yourself, blah, blah, blah. And we're dude, literally the things you've said have been so ignorant. But it was tense at times. I'm really glad I did it. It was definitely out of my comfort zone. It was rough, but I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I got to see the smiles of the faces of the people who were driving into the mosque to pray. As we waved and smiled at them, you could just see some relief on their face. So we were just really glad that we were able to bring people some peace and comfort. So, yeah.